Thanks for coming in to join us for the latest Quarry podcast. Here to talk about the Island Games, which is now, let's face it, like just over a week away. How are you guys feeling?
Excited, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's been quite a long wait and quite a long build up. We were just speaking before about, first communications came out to it sort of a year ago now. So it's been a long year, and it's been a long 2 years since it was over here in Guernsey. So I'm excited on the whole. I think more than anything for sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it hasn't really set in for me, to be honest. I am excited and a bit nervous because it's my first time actually doing a game. So it doesn't feel like we're going next week.
And so just casting back a little bit, because you mentioned Guernsey, and obviously you were competing in Guernsey, but were you spectating more?
No, I was reserve for the relay. I was in the 4x1, but I didn't actually run. So the Guernsey Games was different experience for me than for everyone else. But I did all the other stuff, had the kit and did the opening ceremony and all that, but didn't actually run.
Does that kind of thing give you a bit of certainly a taste of the action, but that sort of drive to make the team as well?
Yeah, no, I really tried to get my times and stuff ready for Guernsey, and it just wasn't doing well. And so then I kind of thought, for this one, I'm not going to put the pressure on myself. What will be, will be. And I think that's actually done me better this year. I'm way more involved than I was last time. So,
yeah, and for your point of view, Gian-Luca, as well, Guernsey must have had a big effect on you.
Yeah, I think it was my first games. I still am quite young, but I was even younger then. And sort of competing at that high level was different for me. This Games is going to be different as well because, firstly, you're not going to have the home fans and the support that you had in Guernsey, which was surreal. I don't think from day one at the opening ceremony, when we sort of gathered at North Beach for all those bits and bobs and people doing their talks, and an hour or two goes by and you think, oh, I'm getting a bit tired. And then you go to do the parade. And I had absolutely no idea that there was so many people that came down to watch and support. And from that on, just set up the week. It's going to be different being at an away games this year. But it's still going to carry that same importance, obviously. But yeah, I'm excited in terms of I'm 2 years older now. I've got one games done already, so just bring that little bit more experience, hopefully, going into Orkney. Yeah.
And for both of you, it's going to be a busy week as well. Like, just talk us through the events that you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm doing the 400 individual, and then I'm doing the 4x4 and the 4x1. And I think the heats and semis for the 400 are on Sunday, so it's straight away into 400s, which I'm a bit nervous for because I've never done that many 400s in one small space of time. And then the 4x4 obviously is going to be intense as well. So yeah, we'll see.
How do you even begin to prepare for? Because like a lot of our track meetings here in the UK, it's a one-off race, isn't it? Like you're one and done. But obviously competing potentially over heats and semis and finals. Like, have you adjusted your training at all to prepare for that?
Not so much adjusted my training. I think I've done a lot more competitions lately where it's been over a weekend and you've had heats and semis, although one of the times I made the semis I had to pull out, so I didn't actually get that experience. But I've had a few chances to kind of run again after having run a 4. So I kind of know that my body isn't too bad and too tired to run again, which is good. But training not really changed for that.
Yeah, I think as it is, I've not done as many races as potentially I would have liked to do this year, but the few that I have done, I sort of find that I'm progressively feeling better after each race. So I remember my season opener. For the games, I'm potentially going to have the 800 meters and then an hour later the 4x400 meters. And after my season opener, if you asked me to get up and do a 400 meters, I would have just said no and then stayed lying on the floor. But sort of fast forward 2 or 3 races into the season, if you asked me then, okay, now you've got to do a 400 meters an hour time, I could have easily said, yes, I think I can do that. So for me, it's just doing the races and I start to feel fresher. And I think just ensuring that in the week we're eating the right foods and recovering the way that you need to recover in order to get up the next day or and do another race. So yeah, I would have liked to have done some competitions that include heats, semis and finals and get used to it, but I've just not had the chance to. They've just, I've only really had the chance to do sort of one-off races. But like I said, they have progressed quite well and feel fresher each race. So that's a positive.
Yeah, and I guess like because you had a bit of a disruptive build up anyway through injury.
Yes,
right,
yeah, that's
well,
right.
so.
Yeah, so I didn't race at all last year with a stress fracture, and then hoped to open up my season at the end of August and managed to tear my hamstring. So that was a complete failure of a season, unfortunately, which meant that I had to, well, the hamstring injury sort of went on into winter as well. So I had to let that heal and then sort of rehab as well. So missed sort of the first part of winter training. And then obviously my fitness wasn't up to where I wanted it to be coming into the early season, and I had to get a qualifying time by I think April. So I managed to do one indoor race, which got me the time. So that was good. But that sort of factors into not being able to do as many competitions as maybe I would have liked, or especially do competitions that require heats and semis and to prepare for the games. But I've managed to overcome the injuries, touch wood, now. and so, yeah, I'm feeling in a lot better place than I was last year for sure. So, yeah.
Yeah, and how's your season gone so far as well?
My season has been incredible. I really was not expecting it to go the way it's gone. And actually, to be honest, the past few years haven't been that good. And I kind of was getting into the point where I was like, oh, maybe like my time's up. Not that I'm like older or anything, but like my time's up. I've gone to uni and it's not gone so well, so let's just stop. But this year, obviously I took up the 400, which was a new event for me. And so the training has changed quite a lot. And it's actually made my 1 and my 2 better as well. So yeah, it's I think it was a bit of a jump for me to take the 4, but it's definitely gone well. And I'm glad that I've kept going, to be honest, and not just given up when it was really, really not going so well.
Yeah, it's good because I guess for both of you, it sounds like you've had those periods where the sport has been challenging and it's not been going as you want. And I guess that happens to athletes and that happens to people that are that might not have the experience of how you then cope with that and get through it. So what kind of strategies do you use in those sort of harder moments?
I think firstly, a lot of people think that in sport, it just goes like that. As you get older and you train more, it gets better and better and better. But it's just not the case, is it? If you look at a graph more, it's going to be more like this, and then dips for a bit, and then goes up, and then dips. There's always like setbacks and stuff like that. And I think for me, it was just coming to the realization that actually setbacks just happen, and it's just overcoming them rather than because. Similarly, when I was kept getting injured and having pains, you think like maybe I've just had my glory and my luck's run out.
Yeah.
So it's just actually overcoming that and just realizing that okay, setbacks are part of everyone's journey in sport. So it's for me it was the realization and coming up with the courage to get through those setbacks and those times where it feels difficult, and then. Yeah, get consistent training after your body recovers, and eventually, as it has for both of us, you end up ideally coming out even better than you were before. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, like obviously going to uni changes a lot of things. You have to learn to be on your own, cook for yourself. Like you've got way more responsibilities than you had when you were at home and all you did was go to school and go to training. So I think that definitely took a toll on me, and my training maybe did reduce quite a lot just because I had social life. Everyone goes to uni and it's
uni
really
life.
exciting.
Yeah.
And then I think as I've got older, that kind of has not been as important to me, the socials. I mean, I do still, but it's not as big of a part of my life. So I think just like realizing that, everyone when they go to uni has to explore like meeting new people, and you have to do that. That's just like part of life and becoming independent and stuff. So I think once I realized that, and that's just the way it was, then this year kind of I was just like, okay, get back into training, get back into what I like doing. And also like, I think I before was in such a mindset of the more I train, the better I'll be. And this year I've really taken recovery as a different, like, I've just, my mindset of like, okay, obviously I'll train on days where I'm not motivated, but if I'm really like, today is not the day, I'm not going to hit 100% in my session. I'm not like going to do that session. I'm going to do something different. And it will actually benefit me more than if I just tried to push through a session, potentially injure myself when I'm not feeling 100%. So not training every day, not skipping my rest days, not going in the gym every day. Because, everyone has that mindset of the more I train, the better I'll be, but that's not really the case.
Training smarter rather than harder, I think,
and letting my body recover so I don't get injured.
Yeah.
What is it that keeps you involved in the sport? What makes, what is that draw?
Honestly, it's the people. I absolutely love the people down the track, and everyone. It's just like a community, so it's great. And I love the fact that I mean, particularly being able to train sort of more mileage as well. I know you wouldn't do as much mileage, but like Nick, you'll be able to relate. You can just do it off your doorstep. You can just you can go for a run, and that's part of your training. And
do you know, I wish I had that. Didn't need to find the track every time you want to train.
So I feel like that's kind of the beauty, and it's just but most importantly for me, it's the community and the people, and when we go on the trips together, it's just making a fun trip of it, and everyone's in the same boat. Everyone supports each other so well. So I think, it's having a good bond with your coach and the other athletes is a really important thing, I think. Yeah.
I think for me, it's been such a big part of my life for so long that I don't think I could live without it now. Like, it is just part of my life, and I'll always find a way to train no matter where I am or like what I'm doing. Or and when I went to uni, my uni doesn't actually have an athletics team, so that was quite a big thing. I had to find a way to keep training because I didn't want to give it up.
Yeah.
I needed it to, stay sane, keep my mental health in check. I think you always find a way to like get your training in. And
And what is your training setup look like now then?
It is different to at home. I mean, all my S&C I do myself, kind of based off what I see on Instagram, what I've learned from Tom at the gym over here. Originally, when I first went to uni, I was just doing the sessions that they were doing over here, just doing them at home. And that kind of wasn't really working for me. I think there was things that were coming up and I didn't really know what they were. So I just ended up just doing my own thing, wiping that and doing my own thing. And then my training went down on the track from 3 days a week to 2 days a week. So that was quite a big change because I was getting one less track session, and the track sessions are the important sessions. This year that's changed and gone back up to 3, which is good. And I think that's helped with my performance. But yeah, I think I hadn't really had a structured plan up until this year. And I think it has definitely made a difference. Kind of went to uni completely blind. And now I feel like I found my feet and I've got a plan, and my coach at uni, she's so good at, writing my sessions. So
really starting to benefit from that.
Yeah.
When we think about competition can be really daunting. It can be exciting. How do you get yourself mentally prepared to perform to the best of your ability?
I don't know. That's a hard question.
I think you just have to. It takes races and experience to know what works best for you. And once you find what does actually work best for you, for me, just incorporate that into pretty much every race that you do. So don't try new things if you're not sure, or try new things with races that maybe don't mean as much. If I'm not going to try a new routine for Orkney now. I'm just going to stick with what I know. So it's about finding what works best for you, I think. And also, it can be difficult sometimes if you're going on a group trip and you're rooming with someone that you don't really know, or you're with people that you don't really know, and they're doing their thing, and maybe you don't really do that to prepare for a race. It's about just having the courage to just say, actually, no, this is how I prepare. This is how long before a race I warm up. This is the drills that I do. This is what I eat on the day of the race. So I think it's just, firstly find out what works for you and just stick with it and have the courage to stick with it, because ultimately it's about on race day, it's about how you run. It's not about how someone else runs. So you have to do what's best for you. So I've just, over the years of doing races, I've figured out what works best, and I make sure that I sort of stick to the race plan basically, and the race plan not just meaning what happens in the race, everything that happens before and the build up to it. So yeah, that's it really for me, is just stick to what you know. Don't mess around and try silly new things that run the risk of of backfiring on you.
It can be so easy to get, like you say, getting influenced by other people around you. Sometimes you see them doing a warm-up exercise you haven't done. You're like, maybe I should be doing that.
I get such bad imposter syndrome when I race. Like, when I go to like bigger races like Bucks or some sort of championship, I actually I look around, I'm like, oh my God, everyone here is so strong, so knows what they're doing. And a lot of the time I go to competitions in the UK on my own, because I don't have a team and I don't have my coach over there and stuff. So I really do just feel so out of place. I'm like, oh my God, these people are like really, really fast.
But and I suspect though, if they watched you do your warm up from A to Z, they would think something similar.
Doing,
they would think the exact same thing, which is sort of the zone or the mindset that I sort of use, because I know what you mean. And you look at these people and I know I mentioned like do your own thing, but it is also sometimes good to just see what these potentially more experienced athletes do to warm up and prepare for a race. But yeah, I know what you mean about that imposter syndrome.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because a lot of them at these competitions are just sort of getting through the heats to make the semi, getting through the semi to make the final. Like that is how they approach the races. Whereas for me, a lot of the time I know like if I make a semi, that'd be great. But a lot of the time I'm just putting it all out in the heat because I want to get a good time. Yeah. And even if I put it all out in the heat, sometimes I don't make the semi. So it's just kind of like you realize everyone's there for different reasons. Some people are there to medal, other people are there just to get a good time down. People are there to practice for bigger events.
Exactly.
You have to remember everyone's running their own race. But yeah, the imposter syndrome is big.
And I guess like the Island Games is such an incredible platform for Guernsey athletics, for like just seeing that stage that you actually get to compete on, and having that carrot there must be such a great driving force when you get to that level.
I think we're quite lucky that we've got that, because it gives the local athletes something to aspire to that's reachable, and also a very high level of competition. So I think we are very lucky that we get to do that.
And it's international, which
exactly,
is something that a lot of us don't get to do.
If you're from mainland UK or something like that, it's much harder to get to compete on an international level like this. So but I think that's the beauty of it, and it's great that it's in fact it was great that it was in Guernsey 2 years ago, because it gives the younger athletes something to they get to watch it, and they get to see, and they get to aspire to it. So it's a really great opportunity to compete at an international level. That I feel very lucky and privileged that we get that chance for sure. Yeah,
I think when it's a games year, a lot of what you do is focused on for the games. Like that is like, I'm doing this so I can get time for the games.
Yeah, 100%.
Doing this session so I'm ready for the games. That's kind of how.
And even in the year that it's not, you're still thinking about the qualifying.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's the beauty of the 2-year cycle, isn't it? It's like there's like that build, and
absolutely
like,
kind of all you're ever looking towards.
Most of us. It's nice that it's not a 4-year. It makes it. There's always something to look for Guernsey athletes.
Do you have any like goals in mind for when you're over there? Is it times? Is it places? Is it like...
I would love to medal, but I think everyone would love to medal. But I think if I can get my 400, I ran a really good time about a month ago, and if I could replicate that or run quicker, I think I would be maybe up there. I mean, I haven't really seen the standard. I know some people have seen who they're going up against, but I would love to medal. That would be crazy. But even to make a final would be insane. And I didn't even think I was going to be doing an individual event. So to be sitting here saying, I'd love to medal. And obviously in the relays, we've got a really strong team. So medals probably, well, not probably, but we've got a really good chance at getting good medals there. So it would be cool to come away with a medal.
Yeah.
At least one.
Yeah, I think without saying I really want to push for a medal. well, yeah, no, that is the truth. But
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
set too much expectation and let myself down or anything like that. But
that is the thing. You don't want to set your expectations too highly, but
but I think
also you want to have aspirations.
I know, yeah. And people go, "Oh, weren't you talking about getting a medal?" And you end up nowhere near. So.
Last place.
So
Didn't make
exactly. That's the last thing I want.
Well, look, the race went out the wrong way. It was single edge.
Well, that's the thing as well, is like with the Island Games, when you go and do a sort of a one-off race, you know everyone's going to be running as fast as they can, and particularly in something like the middle distance races, there's so much tactics that go involved, and you just don't know what's going to happen on the day. So I got to like adapt on the day.
And also having those heats and semis, like you're not going to be fresh by the time you get to your final. So
it's not a case of just, okay, let's look at the start list. Okay, I'm ranked X out of them, so I expect to finish there or above would be good. Anything could happen, but I think I'm similarly, I would love to take a medal as well, 100%. I think it would be great to bring one back and obviously add to Guernsey's overall tally as well, and say you contributed to that. So I think that's the goal, but we're keeping it on the down low.
Goal setting's important, but just getting it to the right level. Could you take us a little bit, like some of us, like never run at the level that you're going to be running at and have never experienced that, even within a race. Like, so take us to the middle of a, say, 400-meter race. You're at the 200-meter bend.
My favourite place to be.
And I imagine everything's just glorious. And it's like you're just floating along and it's, what is going through your mind? And like, what does it feel like?
Death.
Death. I think when I get to the 200, it's not so bad. It's when I get to the last 100 that's where I'm in pain. But yeah, I think I remember the first time I did a 400 and I got to that 200 and I was like, oh my God. Like in my head, I literally like went, oh my God, like this is far and I've still got another half of the lap to go. But I think a lot of the time that is the hard part about the 4 is the mental part. Like you physically can't get around that track. It's just pushing yourself to get around that, because it's so easy just to be like, oh, I'm too tired. Like I'm just going to take it back now. And one of the things that I think about is my arms. Is like one of my main things, pump my arms, because if my arms are going, my legs will go, and my arms are less tired than my legs. But yeah, I think it is definitely a mental thing. You have to really push through that feeling of, oh my God, I'm really in pain right now.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think that comes with training as well, getting better, because ultimately in training, you're going to be doing X amount of reps. And depending on the session, that last rep is going to be tough. And so if you can get through that last rep consistently throughout your winter training, throughout this spring into the summer training, then when you come onto that last 200 meters and those mental thoughts of, oh, this feels like death is kicking in. You've done it in training. You can do it in this race. So
something I always have to tell myself is that I've done it before. Like if I'm at the start line for the 4 and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm really scared. I've done it before. I've run around this track so many times. I've never fallen over. Touch wood. I've never fallen over. But I've done it before and I know how to do it. And I trust my training, trust the fact that I've done this. I've raced it before. So you do have to just have self-belief and just remember that you know what you're doing. You're not like just being chucked into an event that you've never done. So you just have to have that self-belief and trust.
You think like the team factor is going to play into it a bit as well? Like the fact that you're running for the island, your teammates are on the sideline and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That was a big thing in Guernsey. I thought like you just felt like they were almost pushing you down that home straight and you get given that little push, although probably didn't really look like it.
I never hear anyone when it's also because I'm in pain, but I never hear anyone when I'm running. I can't hear anyone saying my name.
No,
they
I know
are,
what you
but
mean.
you just don't hear it.
Yeah. I think it was you in Guernsey sort of walking out and seeing that crowd, all the Guernsey flags was amazing. And like I said at the start, it's not going to be like that in Orkney, but there's going to be your team members there. You're going to see the green kits, and that's a big thing that just pushes you on, and you want to do them proud. I feel like, and everyone supports one another, which is again, I go back to what I said about like that community feeling within Guernsey athletics. So I think they're a big motivator. Is your supporters and your fans 100%. Even if you can't hear them on the home straight.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's one thing I wish I could have run at the Guernsey Games, because that atmosphere when I was spectating, it was another level. There were so many people there.
I didn't expect
and we won't see it like that in Orkney. Obviously there'll be people there, but it's not going to be Guernsey people. It's not going to be as many people. So it's definitely going to be different. And I wish I had experienced the Guernsey crowd, because it was different.
They did a very good job.
Yeah.
They did.
It was amazing to see the track with so many people there. It just shows what you can do if you put the right event on.
Absolutely.
Like in the islands.
Absolutely,
Just brilliant. If you, like when you began your athletics journeys, I don't know how old either of you were, but was it ever at the back of your mind that went, oh, you know what? That's where I want to get to?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I joined the athletics club when I was really, really young. Like I don't know how old they used to take. I think I was like 5.
Really?
But I don't think they take people that old anymore. And then I did stop for about a year or two when I got to sort of 9 or 10, and then came back in as when I got into secondary school. And it probably wasn't really until Gibraltar. So I was 14, I think 2019. I can't remember. Yeah, turning 15 that year. Yeah, and that for me just gave me the insight more, because there were people that I sort of trained with every now and again, or that I maybe went to the gym with, or the people that you see down the track every week that were going. And that was really the first time that I thought, yeah, wait, I train with some of these people. Like there's no reason why I can't do this in the future. And so I think for me it was the 2019 games when I got to see the people going and watch the videos online. I'd not really watched anything about I was aware of the Island Games, but I'd never really been invested in them before that, I don't think. So for me that was the big thing. It was Gibraltar that just and like I said, people that you saw that did the same sessions as you, they had the same sort of routine as you, and they were going off to these games. So that was it for me. I think Gibraltar, was the not the turning point, but the point where I thought, actually, this is now a reasonable goal.
Yeah, I don't really know. And I mean, I started athletics probably 10 years ago, so I wasn't as young as you. I was 11. I think it was when I went to secondary school that I started training, at the club sessions. Before that, I had done athletics at like the school, when you're younger. I don't think I really looked at the games as something that I would ever be going to. Because I think people were going to the games when they were like, I mean, there are people now going to the games when they're like 15. And I was thinking like, oh, that's like 4 years time, and I'm never going to be good enough to go to the games at 15. And I wasn't. But I think maybe Jersey, I saw them all going off to Jersey 2017. Was that?
2015, I think. 2017 or so, I don't know. I was too young then.
But when they were going off to Jersey, I remember thinking that's really cool. I would like, and also I remember looking at the kit and being like, that's good. I want that kit.
Get some swag.
It's always the most exciting part of the games.
Everyone's favourite part is the kit.
It's amazing actually in the club room. Like, so we're all down there just training anyway, and the kit arrives in the club room, and you turn up and you see like,
it's like a pot of gold, isn't it?
Yeah. And then they all wear it to all the local events. I know you went to the games.
It was like, that was, I actually, I know what you mean. Watching them wear it at the local events, it was like, these are like the pros in the club, This is something to aspire for.
But I guess like your stories are like inspiring, because you prove that you can stick at a sport, and you see people that like of your same age as you maybe have progressed to the games already, or like just, but it just shows like you can stick with it and still get to a higher and higher and higher level.
I think when I was around the age 11, 12, I was actually doing really well for my age at the time, and I actually then had quite a few years where it really, really didn't. I don't know if it was because I was developing, I was getting older. I don't know what it was. I was just. Really, my times were just going backwards, and I was training and they were going backwards, and I was like, I don't really understand why this has happened. And then I came out of lockdown stronger than before lockdown. We hadn't even been training, so I don't really know how. I mean, I actually over lockdown did quite a lot of training on the grass just because it was something to do. And I came back stronger and actually like went sub 13 in the 100 for the first time. I was 17, I think. And so I had that plateau, and then had another plateau when I went to uni. So my progress has kind of gone a bit like this. And it's, I think maybe had I not had so many plateaus, maybe I would have been able to go to the games earlier. Maybe I would have been, because like when I was younger, I was actually doing better. I was doing better than I was when I was about 15, so 16. So yeah, it is. I think if you look at my power of 10 and stuff, you will see the years where it really wasn't going too well, and then you'd see it goes better, and then it gets worse again.
Yeah.
But I would like to, advocate that it's, there's something that happens to, especially to girls, because, you're changing, and you have to just stick through it. And a lot of people don't stick through it, and that's why you don't really see as many people when you get to under 23. There's less people competing and training because people give up because my times aren't good, so I'm not going to bother anymore. So
I feel like that goes back to like just coming to the realization of the plateaus basically, and the dips in form and the dips in maybe your motivation and stuff like that. And
it's so unmotivating when you compete and you're just like, why is that just gone the way it's
like you said, you've been training more or just as much as you had in previous years. Your times are slow. It doesn't seem
and
to
you're
make
like,
sense.
I just don't understand what's going on.
So I think it is just coming back to the realization, and I mean everyone drops out for different reasons, but it's coming to the realization that actually this is just part of getting better in the long run.
You're never going to be always going up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like you say, I think, and you mentioned it earlier about like that community spirit down at the club, and like whichever club you're involved in. I mean, that is what ultimately keeps you going, because you're going down there, you're seeing people, and like puts you in a good space, doesn't it? Eventually,
100%. And I think we're very lucky at Guernsey Athletics with that community feeling. They do loads on social media that make you feel like so proud when they put you up on social media or something like that. It's always nice. That I'm sure there are other clubs in the UK that do that, but the way Guernsey Athletics do it at a really good level and give you that really nice feeling. So it keeps you motivated.
Yeah, it's a small club, but the standard in the club is like really great. It's 100%. Really quite high for a small island with not very many people and whatever. So when you're competing locally, you're still getting a good competition, a good race. You're not competing, like there's going to be people around you running the same time as you and pushing you. So you're not, it's a great community for such a small island.
I always thought that as well, when you look, you can go right from Ala Chalmers at the moment and Cameron before him, Dale Garland, like you can pick out, and Lee Merrin, you pick out these people that have been at the Olympics and competing on international levels, but then you flip it on its head and you see like the 80-year-old that might be running around doing like the Masters Mile and stuff like that.
I
and
love that. I just love that. And they particularly someone like Alo came and did Guernsey in 2023. It's like, these people compete on the same track. It's great. I love it. So, and I know it gets mentioned on social media quite a lot about like him always repping the Guernsey Athletics kit.
It's so cool to watch him
awesome.
running in Guernsey kit.
And I think that's a big thing for youth athletes to see that and go, if he's from the same background as me, why can't I aspire for that? So I love that. It's great.
Yeah, it just shows what level you can get to. Well, really, I just want to wish you both the best of luck.
Thank you.
Out in Orkney. I'm sure you'll smash it. Like, really excited to see how it all goes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. No, it should be fine.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And thank you so much for having us as well. Yeah, it's been good fun.